here to talk to you 25 minutes about the application of artificial intelligence to bring earlier and ever more precise diagnosis, to expand the reach into underserved as well as currently served populations for remote patient monitoring and management, as well as to create greater clinical efficiencies. I'm talking to you today about conversational artificial intelligence. My name is Jon Stine. I'm the executive director of the Open Voice Network. It's a nonprofit. It's a part of the prestigious �၀𝐞𝐝 Foundation. Now, I'm going to repeat that statement, but I'd ask you to close your eyes and listen. I'm Jon Stine. I'm the executive director of the Open Voice Network, an open source community of the �၀𝐞𝐝 Foundation. From the intelligence you've gathered through your years, you would hear, without seeing me, this is an individual who identifies as male. This is an individual most likely from the States. And if you're from within the States, you'd be able to say he grew up in the Middle West. You'd be able to say he's probably older. He might have white hair. Indeed, he does. And if we began to apply artificial intelligence, the use of algorithmic intelligence, large data sets, to what you just heard, you would be able to identify his body mass. His doctor says it's too much. You'd be able to identify not only his age, his ethnicity, he's of European descent, and you would also be able to identify his sentiment. He's a little nervous being on stage, but more importantly for this audience, you would be able to identify and provide an ever more precise and early awareness. Does he have a respiratory disease? Is there signs of Parkinson's or Alzheimer's? Is there inebriation? Are there multiple issues, all of which the early diagnosis, and especially dealing with remote patient populations, become ever more important? Conversational artificial intelligence. How many of you heard of the Alexa voice device? Raise your hand if you have. Or Magenta from Deutsche Telekom. This is what we're talking about. But we're talking about it not as a toy in your home that plays music or tells jokes, but as an essential tool in the future of healthcare. Conversational artificial intelligence. As I said, I'm with the Open Voice Network. We're a nonprofit. We're focused on technology standards for conversational AI, as well as exploring the ethical issues that are critical when you capture remarkable data. The richness of data, there's nothing as rich in data capture besides your voice. Probably the only one more rich is your DNA. Standards, ethical use, data ownership, that's what we're about. We have a booth. Come talk to me. I'll be around. I look forward to the conversation with my colleagues. But let's get into this very quickly. Why is this important? Conversational AI is humans talking to computers and computers talking back. That's in a nutshell what it is. Envision software on any device, in your office, in your clinic, the smartphone that all of you have. Who owns a smartphone? 99%. This is not a device, it's software, and it speaks, it listens. For this audience, for all of us, The fact that voice, conversational AI, speaks is much less important than the fact that it listens. There's a great deal of focus on, ooh, Alexa is telling me something. What's ever more important, the value of the conversational AI iceberg is below the waterline, and that's in the listening, in the analysis, in the understanding. Think of what this can mean for you. Think of what this can mean within this growing world of digital medicine. It's natural language processing, generation, understanding. It's AI at work. There's no magic to it. And it's becoming normal. In fact, it's being used daily. This is not magic. This is not some remarkable tool that only a few nerds in Silicon Valley use. In fact, if we take a look at the data, half of adults use this, and in Deutschland in the States, more than 30% use this technology daily. We're talking hundreds of millions of individuals who use conversational AI or voice technology daily. This comes from a study led by James Poulter, who will be speaking to you later today. This is a rising tide of normative behavior. People using conversational AI, which begs the question, if the patients are using it, how might this community use it, again, for better outcomes and greater clinical efficiencies? It's also very accessible. A lot of conversation about the new technologies, the new devices that we need for remote patient monitoring, remote patient management, greater precision medicine. Again, how many of us own the remote control for daily life? How many of your patients own this, and especially in underserved populations? One of our colleagues who's helping contribute to our remote patient monitoring paper underway right now is using this with the traveler communities in Northern Ireland. They don't go to clinics. They're not going to be buying any expensive monitoring devices. But by God, they all have one of these. And they do this. They all have one of these. It's accessible. Now, it's also hands-free. Keep in mind that we type, and I'll have a slide here in a moment, we type at 40 words per minute. And when we type, we are putting human grease and dirt onto keys or screens. We can speak at, on average, regardless of the language, at 130 words per minute. If you are in the surgical suite and you are dictating, or you're in the clinical office speaking to a patient, your ability to capture what is being said increases nearly threefold, more than threefold, I should say, with conversational AI technology. Free yourself from QWERTY. When you type, you're using 19th century technology. When you type, you're using 19th century technology. In an era of 21st century advancement and 21st century digital opportunity. Voice is on the path also to be trustworthy, and the issue of trust for voice is multi-layered, multi-level. It is about privacy, of course, but is also, and most importantly, it is about data. This is so data rich, I've spoken to that. This is data rich, and the use, the storage of data is critical. Now, we would say, of course, GDPR and all the magnificent European legislation answers that. Not really. Voice is not even listed. something being used by half of the adult population is not listed. One of the things the Open Voice Network is working on, one of the things we want to be working with you on, is this very question of trust in conversational AI, because this is such a critical, wonderful, amazing, transformational opportunity in the world of health, wellness, and life sciences. How do we do it? Where do you do it? Here's the big question and the issue of where is the value? It is throughout the patient journey, and it is through your workflows. There's not just one place where this can be applied. There are better or worse starting points. And as you meet with James or me or colleague Hans van Dam or colleague Harry Pappas today, let's talk about where those starting points might be. Where can this create the better patient outcomes, the greater clinical workflows? Where are the opportunities for you and your constituents and populations? Here are 5 general areas in which currently the use of conversational AI is creating sustainable, quantifiable value. That is an investment in this technology, AI applied to voice. Patient support services, your call center, 24/7, and you know conversational AI never has a bad day. Hands-free clinical care. In the surgical suite, in the clinical office, in the patient suite. My brother is a general practitioner. He struggles still, he's older than I am, with his charts. He spends his weekends catching up. He types them. Mark, you've got an opportunity. Think about the efficiencies of conversational AI dictation, and again in a hands-free environment. 130 words per minute, it's fast and accurate, and then biomarker and sentiment analysis. Is the patient frightened? Is the patient confused? Is the patient worried? Critical to know as a treatment plan is being placed together. You're speaking on the phone and you hear that rasp in the voice. And from recent MIT work and also tremendous work in China, there's that early COVID sound identified through the voice print. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, a multitude of other maladies that can be, at least early signs, be checked for further investigation and further research. A rapidly growing area. And by the way, when I speak and you're hearing me, just the use of biometric information, you can determine 99% with accuracy this is indeed Jon Stine from my voice. And then remote patient care. Ask questions, get answers, understand the sentiment of patients who are remote, as well as keep an ear to the biomarker symptoms, concerns that are beginning to emerge. Have them speak to on a regular basis. Share with them, hey, it's time to take the medicine. It's time to do this. And the fact is, you're not investing in unique technology. They already have a smartphone. Efficient, accessible, one of the many, not the only, certainly. We're not going to be so arrogant to suggest that. But a critical tool, an opportunity tool in remote patient care. 5 very important use case opportunities. in conversational artificial intelligence, which is right before you. James, who's going to be speaking later today with his team Vixen Labs and the UK firm Delineate, did a very rigorous study of consumer interest, patient interest. What would they like to have if they could using conversational AI technology? What would they really like to be able to learn? Fascinating. They would love to just be able to ask their assistant device or their Magenta device, where can I go for treatment? They would love to know more about a disease, to search symptoms, schedule an appointment. These are relatively simple things. Schedule an appointment and medication reminders. They're not asking for much, but they are asking for this in other industries to be reaching them or allow them to be reached through a technology that is increasingly normative. Again, conversational AI. It's speak to a computer, the computer speaks back. Artificial intelligence applied to the voice, to the intent of the user. I want an appointment, as well as the biometric and biomarker evidence within the voice. Technology before us, technology of opportunity. Again, as we take a look at the care journey, where can conversational AI be applied? This is a simple and easy answer. Nearly everywhere. Patient awareness. When do I do? What do I do? How do I do it? What's my treatment plan? Clinician awareness using biomarkers. Assessment, again, biomarkers. Potential diagnosis. Treatment plan. Treatment, monitoring, and management, a big one. There are use cases currently. This is not just, oh gosh, you could do it. This is underway throughout the global health community using conversational AI. And again, we'd be delighted to speak to you about where and how this is being done and what your opportunities may be. As I said, it's open 24/7. It never has a bad day. Never has a bad hair day. It is always there for you and your patients. Now, let's talk about data. I referred to this in the first part of this presentation. Perhaps no other set of data, apart from DNA, is as rich as that of voice, of your human voice. And again, any of you can speak, I close my eyes, I can tell 5, 6, 7, 8 things about you. But then when we apply artificial intelligence, the list grows substantially. Not only the personality type, not only the demographic, the sentiment. In Atlanta, Georgia, in the States, there is a psychiatrist who is using conversational AI to determine, with a population of underserved youth in poverty-stricken areas in the States, and as you know, there are plenty of those, what is their level of anxiety? As the level of anxiety leads to certain behaviors and also certain other physical ailments. He's shown direct correlation. The trustworthiness, but here, the physical health. And then mental health as biomarkers. Now, on that list is also diabetes. I'm a type 2 diabetic. It's not yet for type 2, but there are indicators for type 1. It does affect your voice. As you are working with remote and or older and or underserved populations, the list, and I'm not a physician, so I'm not going to step out on a limb here, but the list of, let's say, disease types or condition types, which can be, in a sense, an early indicator, can be obtained through conversational AI, is long and growing. And again, we heard the minister talking about the importance of remote patient care, remote patient monitoring, remote patient management. This is a tool right now for that to begin to happen. And again, especially with underserved populations, let us not step away from that opportunity. Finally, what do we do now? Well, first of all, know that across the world, there is roughly going to be a 22% compound annual growth rate investment gain in the investment in conversational artificial intelligence. If you jump on the train, you're not alone. And within that is a growing ecosystem of providers who not only understand the technology, but increasingly understand where and how within health, wellness, and life sciences it can be applied. Applied today, applied tomorrow, and understand the dependencies of applying it. For instance, as you know, for AI to work well, there needs to be a database against which models can be trained. And when that vocabulary of medicine is properly there in a database, then accuracy goes up and it's usable. This ecosystem can answer those questions. It's there waiting to be used. We also know this is what it can do and where it can do it. And we know that the Open Voice Network is doing 2 to 3 things that are important to you. First of all, the voice world, the conversational AI world, unlike the internet, is not interoperable. And those who are running channels of voice claim data. The data, yeah, you think it's your data, or no, it's my patient's data. Well, actually, they take it, they say it's our data. Huge issue. The ability for voice platforms to interoperate, for you to build it once and use it many, for your patients to be connecting to you through any voice device, we're working on that. Published our first step towards specifications about 2 weeks ago. We're also working very much with a great deal of focus on what we term our trust mark. And that is a program that will signify our organization, we believe in protecting data. We believe in the proper use of data. We're not going to sell data nor give it away. We're going to secure it. And we believe that for any of you and your patients, your data is your data. It's not Amazon's, it's not Google's, it's not Facebook's, it's your data. A critical component for this to grow, you must trust it. Voice must be made worthy of user trust. And that's what we're working on. Finally, please join us. Harry Pappas is in the back of the room. Harry, please raise your hand. He's leading our remote patient care and monitoring research right now, a white paper to be published early in Q1 2023. Where are the opportunities? Where are the challenges? What can be done to advance better outcomes for all of your patients, greater efficiencies for those who are providing it, stretched in resources as you are? Finally, come talk to me. We'll be here today. We have a little booth there in the hall. We're the Open Voice Network. Conversational artificial intelligence with all its opportunities for health, wellness, and life sciences. Thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking with you later today. Appreciate it.